What's going on, guys? Welcome back. It's your boy JGM out here with another reaction video, and in today's video we're going to be reacting to 10 wrestlers who ruined their bodies for the business. Listen, y'all, we love this sport. We love what we watch. We enjoy the entertainment that these wrestlers provide and give us, but sometimes there's sacrifices, and we're going to see 10 wrestlers who really dedicated their bodies for this, because without that we wouldn't have gotten Extreme Moments. Let's watch.
Wrestling is tough. I swear we forget about this today as we focus on some nonsense instead, but honestly, what wrestlers go through is mad. They deserve all the respect. Even so-called safe performers find their bodies turning on them in later life, and it's important to note this down. They gave us a lot and shouldn't just disappear into the night. Therefore, I am Simon of What Culture. Please do hit that subscribe button. This is 10 wrestlers who ruined their bodies for the business.
Yes, sir. Go subscribe to them, yo. Subscribe to them. I can't even talk. Go subscribe to them. Shout out to What Culture Wrestling.
Number 10, the Dynamite Kid. A super sad story all around. We may not have wrestling as we know it today without the Dynamite Kid. That's why so many modern wrestlers cite him as an influence, because he used his speed and hard-hitting nature to wow audiences all over the place. He did pay a price though, because not only did he have to retire early due to injuries he'd built up, but he was mostly wheelchair-bound before passing away at just 60 years of age.
Oh, damn.
This is just a horrible tale. His fellow grapplers also said he put a tremendous strain on his body due to various drug use, but it really was the crazy bumps that took him out. Man only knew one speed, and that's what he was going to do. Photos and clips of Tom Billington towards the end of his life don't make for pleasant viewing either. He really did wreck his body chasing the dream. Number 9, Kevin Nash. Everybody loves Kevin Nash. He speaks his mind as openly and as honestly as anybody, and his podcast is a must listen. Dude will just talk. I'm sure Kevin himself would admit he didn't take any unnecessary risks either, but this does sum up how taxing wrestling is. Due to his sheer size and years of basketball before getting into the industry, his knees took an absolute pounding throughout his career, and that resulted in multiple surgeries. Nash has also posted pictures of himself where his lower half is noticeably smaller than his top half. That's because, yeah, he needs to balance all of this out. Thankfully today he does seem to be in a much better position, which is always good to hear, but it goes to show. Wrestling is super hard no matter your approach. It's always why we've got to be as respectful as possible, and why you probably shouldn't make ha-ha Kevin Nash quad jokes.
Yeah, that ain't no joke, man. Kevin Nash, tall as hell, known in the industry, tall giant, and damn, you saw those pictures though, bro? His knee was, oh my god. I don't even want to.
You think he wanted that to happen? Of course not. Number 8, Keiji Muto. Also known as the Great Muta. This poor guy, he retired in 2023, and if you are wondering, he's struggling to walk because here's another dude whose knees were just shattered by the end. I honestly don't know how he did what he did. This was even more impressive as the problems began in the late 90s where he needed serious surgery. A lot of this was due to his shining Wizard of Moonsault. Stands to reason, right? He had taken this joint and just slamming it around. It's why towards the end of his run, the moonsault was moved to one side because Muta just
dang, but 2023?
I truly think it's amazing.
Wow, he was still going, huh?
He can even walk, all things considered. I mean, just go look up what he's been through. Once you've done that as well, make sure you watch the matches too. Makes them even more impressive, right? At times, he basically had no legs and yet was putting on 5-star classics.
Wow.
What a hero. Number 7, The Undertaker. If it wasn't for the injuries, Mark Calloway would still be appearing at WrestleManias today. He has talked about this in multiple interviews, but we're here again. The Undertaker went for so long, his body caught up with him. This is nothing new, though, as many a podcast discussing the dead man have talked about, because he would constantly...
we all remember that match.
...strap himself up and battle through all these problems to the marvel of his co-workers. No one actually knew how he was doing it. Even in the infamous Hell in a Cell match with Mick Foley, you'll see him wince when he falls into the ring because, yep, he was basically working with a broken foot. This guy's just a warrior. There's also footage on the Last Ride documentary of him.
You see what I'm saying, yo? The fact that these wrestlers would do so much to literally entertain us. Like, can you imagine that? Coming off the cage, hanging, and you have to land impact, like, and especially on the ring, you know, apply wood, like, that's not gonna be easy to land, and the fact that he did that to continue on through the match, that's crazy, man.
Basically, you
gotta give Taker his respect.
Curtain after matches, and there's that terrifying story from Mania 30 when Brock Lesnar broke the streak. Taker was so concussed he had to go straight to the hospital. It's why the Phenom was never happy with his scraps against Roman Reigns and Goldberg towards the end of the run, because he knew he couldn't perform as he would have liked. I mean, this happens to us all, but still, must be hard to accept.
And a lot of people can agree that his last match with the phenomenal one was actually a good way to end the infamous career of The Undertaker.
You want to do it, but you just can't, and you have to walk away for good. Sucks. Number 6, Terry Funk. I mean, Terry Funk may be the toughest guy ever.
Rest in peace.
Not just in wrestling either, I'm talking about on Earth. The amount he has fought through is insane, and it wasn't until 2017 when he hung them up for good, even though he was told by medical professionals in 1999 to stop. If you can't do the math, that's almost 20 extra years. To put this in perspective, Terry debuted in 1965 and was so astute to the industry that when he wanted to keep his stock high, he transitioned to a hardcore style and reinvented himself. Funk is an all-timer, no doubt. It did mean come the 90s, Terry was struggling though, just because he had put his body through so much, especially that ECW run. I mean, it's amazing and you should check it out, but it came at a massive price. His love for wrestling kept him going though until he physically couldn't do it anymore. By all accounts, the Funker doesn't move very well these days. The memories he gave us though, he is an absolute legend. Number 5, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle only knew one thing to do in the ring.
Yeah!
You give 100% and that was just your baseline.
Yo, y'all seen that podcast with Kurt Angle and Joe Rogan? How he was explaining that he was taking like 65 pills a day? Was it Vicodin? Like, oh my God, you know, the fact that he was able to perform, you know, and be high like he does. I mean, you know, it sucks that he got addicted to it, but he needed it, bro. Broken freaking neck.
It's why he too is one of the best ever. A famous story has come from this though, as Steve Austin recounted. One day these two were chatting on the phone, and when our Olympic hero had to go to the bathroom, he was forced to crawl there. Yep, that is what Angle did to himself. I mean, even before he debuted, he had won a gold medal with a broken frickin' neck. And throughout his tenure in WWE, he just had to deal with more of these problems, as well as his knees giving out too. As of me speaking, he's just had some major surgery on his back. Kurt left nothing out there. If you do need more evidence for this, go and listen to the build-up to WrestleMania 19 and his match against Brock Lesnar. Angle was basically risking his life for that show. It is totally insane. It's so crazy, I don't think anybody would be allowed to do this today, given how 2023 operates, but I tell you, he will forever be right up there, and few will ever come close to what he did.
It's crazy, bro, because now WWE is definitely, like, I think the wrestling industry out of all, like, before it was all, you know, this non-fiction storyline, and now that they started to add reality towards it and the behind the scenes, like, when you see these Hall of Famers now, at least in my perspective, when I see them, I kind of want them to perform good, yes, of course, but at the same time, I just want them to be safe. Like, I want them to get through the match safe, you know? One person that we can think of right now that's currently trending is Adam Copeland, you know? Probably going to be his last run in the wrestling world, and ironic enough, you know, I think he's about to turn 50 soon. I think he's like 49. And yo, man, I just hope everything turns out good. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank you for the memories, but don't, you know, be with your family too, you know, for the fact that they can enjoy you, especially since you gave us, the fans, so much. But nowadays, man, when you see these Hall of Famers in the ring, I personally just want them to be okay at the end. You know, even Rey Mysterio's still going at it, you know, and he's the United States champ. It's crazy how he's still doing this at his age, and he's still doing a good, like, he's still performing good, you know. But, you know, all I can say is I just hope they're safe, and I hope they, you know, just be easy. They don't got to do so much, because now they're so respected in the world of wrestling that we just want to be entertained, but we don't want you to be hurt, you know.
Much like RVD, the man was one of a kind.
This is your garbage trash browser, and this is Opera GX. You see this difference?
Number 4, Edge. Adam Copeland has never been shy with his words. He had to retire early in 2011 because of the toll wrestling took on his body, mostly due to those crazy ladder matches. I mean, that does make sense. His prognosis was so bad, doctors told him that one bad bump could paralyze him.
Yeah.
WWE told him that was that, and he'd just have to retire as the champion. It was all super emotional because nobody saw it coming.
Hey, yo, he had the R symbol. I didn't know he had the R symbol. That's kind of fire.
Happened. It's why when he returned in 2020, it blew people's minds, because this was believed to be a never happening situation, and now he gets to retire for a second time on his terms. has to be nice for his brain too. You don't want to stop doing what you love because your body shuts down. You want to kick your own ass. It's also allowed Mr. Copeland to continue to climb that ladder, ironically, whereas now everybody does see him as an all-timer. Even though, to be honest, without the return, I would have put him there anyway. Number 3, the Hardys.
Oh.
So we are talking about both Matt and Jeff here, because man,
first people I was thinking of.
Jeff Hardy is always the go-to because he was far more bonkers than his brother when it came to over-the-top moves. I really don't get how he can walk. Go back and watch the Mania bump where he smashes his ass into the floor, or that edge spear from the ladder. It would have killed a lesser person. Matt also had to have crazy surgery on his back, though, after years of doing those middle rope leg drops. And don't forget, he was kind of off the wall too. Not like he was just doing headlocks and slams. Dude was flying. The other reason we have included them is because both have been through a hell of a lot in their personal lives, which they've talked about on various shows. Thankfully, it seems like they both found balance and peace, which is far more important.
I hope, man.
Their Daredevil style also inspired.
And if you guys don't know, I'm pretty sure it's already out. So by the time this video is out too, of course, Adam Copeland, Edge, is in AEW, and how ironic enough is that we have the infamous Hardy Boys and Christian and Edge in the same company. I want another one. Give me another match. That's what I want. That I'm there for. You know what I'm saying?
A hell of a lot of wrestlers who are now at the top of the tree, and their story really is something else.
Yeah.
Number 2, Mick Foley.
Of course, you can't.
So you must have known that Mick Foley was coming, and if you didn't, you don't watch wrestling.
I thought Mick Foley would be number 1
Foley
low-key.
was willing to go should never be forgotten, because here was a man who allowed The Undertaker to throw him off the Hell in a Cell. I don't care, man. 25 years on, still not topped, never will be. When you do go through his injury list too, it's genuinely horrendous. And when you see Mick walk today, you can see that this took its toll.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say that he moves very well. It's why at some points the likes of Ric Flair called him a glorified stuntman, but that is just so unfair and so wrong. Although I do want to point out that these two have since made up. So when it came to Foley, nobody understood psychology like this man, and it's the fact that he would use these high-risk moves and tie it into the character. He was basically a genius. Nobody generated.
I really believe Foley should have been number 1 low key, because that he risked a lot, bro. Like his body, like he mentally put himself in the situation where I don't got the looks, and this is what he believes. You know, I don't got the looks, I don't got the build, but I can go extreme. I can entertain these people. He saw that, and dude, he entertained.
Sympathy like him either, and again, there's a thread running through this. The former Mankind knew how to make you care about him, hence why he became one of the biggest baby faces ever. That's not a fluke. Foley has admitted he still has a way to go to fix all these elements, and I doubt he can never be 100% again. What a legacy he has left, though. Another all-time great. Number 1, Hulk Hogan. So I left the Hulkster to the number 1 spot, mostly as a surprise. As Mick Foley himself once said, nobody was safer than Hulk when working. That's not a knock. You can make the crowd go wild because you touched your ear. Probably should just touch your ear. Hogan did the leg drop as his finisher night in, night out, and after a while it crippled his back. Literally. I mean, look at this picture. This is Hulk's back, which is kind of a weird thing to say. After almost 10 surgeries, which have been so intense, apparently he's also lost 4 inches in height. It's all down to the compression, and this does make sense. Hogan was massive back in the day, so all this weight coming down on the mat constantly, don't do that free of consequence.
I guess.
Somehow Hulk still thinks he's coming back for one more match, but let's just not do that. We don't need any more pain in wrestling. Plus, there's all the other controversy too, which I just want to move to one side and never talk about because it's terrible. Let's just move on. Know of any other wrestlers who ruined their bodies for the business? Make sure you let us know in the comments below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe.
Guys, go subscribe to them.
You can also see another video on the screen.
Go like that video. Video's fire. Yeah, man, like I said, it's kind of crazy how these wrestlers back in the day, especially now, you know, they still perform at a high level and they still make the moves happen. And because wrestling is not based on, you know, the non-fiction stuff and we're going with reality, it's crazy how they allow the fans to see the inside now. Like, you know, it's just, back then it was just, oh, look at the action, all this, and now it's just like, damn, like, we have these wrestlers that really went through a lot, really went through surgeries, and they tell us about it, and it's just crazy how they still performed, how they should stop, you know, how they should, like, we're starting to care about their health, and I'm glad that it got to that point, because now, just like apparently for Hulk Hogan, one more match, I think I shouldn't have it, bro. I think I should just be it. If you do one more, I mean, do something light, but that's what I'm trying to say, like, you know, these wrestlers are crazy, and we're thankful for them because they provide us with great entertainment. Well, guys, thank you for tuning in. Of course, it's your boy JGM. I also make music. If you don't know that, go check my music out. You can go right to my channel, or you can check other platforms. Link is going to be down in the description below. Subscribe to your boy, Road to 1000. Peace.